The modern era of the Premier League has been incredibly lucrative for Chelsea Football Club, particularly after Roman Abramovich took over in 2003. His sizable injection of cash ushered in a long list of world-class talent, which, when combined with Jose Mourinho at the peak of his managerial powers, took the club to a whole new level. It's hardly surprising, then, that many of the names that make it into their greatest ever conversation are from fairly recent times. There are fans who mock the club for not having a history pre-Abramovich. Not true. There were former stars featuring for the club in the 20th century who enjoyed great success with the West London Giants. In the 1960s and 1970s, the Blues had their fair share of accolades on the domestic front. Players such as Ron Harris, Peter Bonetti and Ray Wilkins were particularly influential during that period and are three names who are considered to up there with the best in the history of the side. Trying to decide on the best player in Chelsea's history has a degree of subjectivity to it. Some candidates almost pick themselves with their extraordinary talent and remarkable trophy hauls, but the order is always going to be up for debate. This is why we have come up with the following factors: goals, assists, trophies, expectation, importance to the team and longevity. So, with that in mind, let's now rank the 10 greatest players in the history of Chelsea, all of whom have left an unquestionable mark on the club. 10. Eden Hazard. In the summer of 2012, Eden Hazard was one of the most sought-after players in the world. The tricky winger announced on Twitter of all places that he'd leave boyhood club Lille for the West London side. 7 years later, he left with the status of one of the best players to ever wear the famous blue shirt. During his spell at Stamford Bridge, he helped the club win the Premier League on 2 occasions, the Europa League twice as well as the FA Cup and League Cup. Dubbed one of the best players in the world during the peak of his powers, the Belgian scored 110 goals in 352 games. He'll not be forgotten by the Blues faithful in a hurry because he was an absolute joy to watch and would always be on hand to deliver big moments for the club. 9. Petr Osgood. A star in Chelsea's glamorous side of the 1960s and 1970s, Petr Osgood had remarkable control with both feet, strength, and positional sense, and his finishing was second to none. The King, even to this day, is idolized by the Blues faithful, having played a part in the club's success in the mid-20th century. He moved with such elegance and speed, and there was always something of a swagger to his style. For 10 seasons, the former striker was an automatic choice in the team. He famously scored in every round of the side's FA Cup triumph in 1970. In 354 games for the club, he bagged 139 goals. Due to his glittering career with the West London outfit, a statue of him stands outside the West Stand at Stamford Bridge. The main reason why he features so low down on this list was because he didn't win many titles during his time at the club. 8. Ray Wilkins. Having joined the club as an apprentice, Ray Wilkins was quick to break into the first team, making his debut in 1973 at the age of 17. It was a tough period for the side as several stars departed and Wilkins was eventually named the captain at 18. He could do little to prevent relegation in 1975. 2 years later, he played a starring role in guiding the club to promotion. An outstanding player, Wilkins' range and accuracy of passing made him one of the best in the country in the 70s. Despite never winning anything during his time with the Blues, his importance to the team is the reason why he features in the top 10. The former England international had a few spells with Chelsea as an assistant coach after his playing days and is still thought of highly at the club. 7. Ron Harris. Aptly nicknamed Chopper for his no-nonsense style of defending, Harris would become a key figure in Chelsea's defence for the best part of 18 years. His showing in the 1970 FA Cup final, a notoriously physical battle, holds its own spot in club folklore. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest players to put on the shirt simply because he's played more games for the side than any individual, a whopping total of 795. Like Wilkins, Harris remained loyal throughout the 70s when so many big names were leaving. The former Blues star could play anywhere along the backline. The Englishman deserves a place in the top 10 because of his loyalty and longevity with the West London outfit. 6. Peter Bonetti. Regarded as one of the best English goalkeepers of all time, the former Blues shot-stopper is one of the truly legendary figures at Stamford Bridge. His outstanding reflexes and elegant agility were a joy to watch during the peak of his powers. Peter Bonetti played 729 times for the club, making him the second highest appearance maker in the side's history. The Cat was an instrumental figure in all of Chelsea's successes of the 1960s and 1970s. His best moment came over the 2 legs of that famous 1970 FA Cup final victory against bitter rivals Leeds United. He produced a series of crucial saves in the first game, and again in the second despite getting injured early on in the match. His ability between the sticks and longevity with the Blues makes him one of the best to ever put on the famous Blues strip. 5. Petr Cech. Not only is Petr Cech thought of as the greatest Chelsea goalkeeper of all time, but many regard him as one of the best in Premier League history. The former Czech international enjoyed an 11-year playing career at Stamford Bridge, winning every domestic and European club honour possible during that time. His finest night in a Chelsea shirt unquestionably came in Munich in the 2012 Champions League final. Cech's outstanding performance helped the Blues to glory, having saved an Arjen Robben penalty during extra time as well as getting his hand to 2 more in the shootout. 4. Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba ticked just about every box that made him a defender's worst nightmare, and during his time with the club, he earned a deserved reputation as the ultimate big-game player. He scored 157 goals in 341 appearances in his first spell at Chelsea and added another 7 when he returned for one more season in 2014, cementing his place as the side's 4th all-time highest scorer. One of the best African stars to ever play in the Premier League, Drogba will always be one of the first names mentioned when it comes to the debate about Chelsea's best players in their history. 3. Gianfranco Zola. Before the Roman Abramovich era took off, there was Gianfranco Zola. A real handful for defenders during the peak of his powers, the former Italy international won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Super Cup, 2 FA Cups and the League Cup with the West London Giants. Once voted as the club's greatest ever player, Zola was an absolute gem to watch. The creative and technically gifted was best known for his close ball control and his skill, for why he features so highly in our top 10 list. 2. John Terry. The epitome of a dedicated player, John Terry spent 19 years at Chelsea and was the backbone of their defence for the majority of his career. Known for his exceptional understanding of the game, tenacity, and physical strength, the former England international was equally adept at tackling, intercepting, and heading. There is an argument that Terry is one of the greatest defenders of all time. As the club's most successful captain, he led the Blues to numerous trophies, including 5 Premier League titles. Terry's consistency and performances cement his place as the Premier League's greatest defender. His performances, longevity, and record with the side are the reasons why he's number 2 on a list, just missing out on the top spot. 1. Frank Lampard. Becoming Chelsea's all-time top goalscorer from midfield, Blues legend Frank Lampard is arguably the best player to ever play for the club. With an eye-watering list of individuals and team accolades to his name, the former England international showcased a rare knack for timing runs into the box to perfection. As well as his goal-scoring prowess, he was an intelligent player with impressive passing ability and a tireless work rate. Lampard's consistency and leadership were crucial in the Blues' successful period under Mourinho, where he helped the club to multiple Premier League titles. Like Terry, Cech and Drogba, his most iconic moment came in the 2012 Champions League final victory against Munich. The fact that he's the club's all-time scorer, won many honours and enjoyed a long career at Stamford Bridge are the reasons why he's number 1. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Chelsea content.